Join us for this week's One Man's Dreamboat segment with Florida Sportsman boating editor George Labonte as we feature anglers who have already launched their dream. Florida Sportsman began these features 30 years ago, and the dreams just keep getting better.
This week we're going to take a ride with Chris Rodriguez and his son Christian. 13 years ago, Chris was looking for a boat, and after going through a few starter boats, he found the boat that he always wanted to have, a 25-foot Contender, 1991 model. He bought this boat to fish on, enjoyed it for a couple of years. 13 years later, the boat needed new power, and he decided this is a great time to do a bunch of mods on the boat and freshen it up and make it as good as new. We headed to a spot out in front of Stuart, Florida, where there's a lot of cobias swimming around with a bunch of bull sharks. We found the sharks, they're protecting the cobias. We weren't able to connect with one, but we did catch a couple fish, and Chris's brother-in-law caught a great big jack crevalle, made the day for us. Since the cobia weren't cooperating at this rock pile, we decided to head for the beach, get Chris up in the tower where he had a good vantage point, see if we could find one up in shallow water. I could see Chris really enjoyed being up there. He was seeing everything, turtles, sharks, all kinds of stuff swimming around on the beach. We didn't find any fish there. The water was a little green, so we took a little bit of time to go over the build. Well, Christian, this is kind of an interesting story how you landed on this, but how you came about getting a Contender 25 here. It goes back 13 years ago. Prior to that, you had some other boats. Tell me about the events that led up to this right here.
Well, I financed a new boat, bought it at the boat show, and I wanted to have the reliability of new engines and a new boat, and I had that boat for about a year, and it was stolen from me. When it was stolen, it was found a couple days later, completely stripped, engines, everything was gone. It was a total loss, and I said to myself, do I want to jump back into a new boat or go for my dream boat? And honestly, I've always dreamt of the 24.5-degree dead rise, the hull ride, everything. And just the first day I test drove this boat, I couldn't believe the speed I can go in the seas I was in, and I was sold completely. And I said, this is the route I want to go. And so I bought the boat, and little by little, I started putting more money into it and more money into it. It treated me good for the first couple years until I wanted to repower.
Right.
And that was the best move I think I did. The fuel efficiency, the confidence in having new engines. The difference in the engines made a huge impact on my fishability, how far I can go. I was doing 0.9 miles per gallon, now I'm doing 1.9.
You can't argue with that.
36 miles an hour, and it changed everything.
Now I'm putting new motors on it. All of a sudden, I know once you tear into a job,
right,
lots of other projects come up. What else did you end up doing to the boat?
I ended up, when I did the engines, I painted the entire boat with gel coat, inside and out, the walls, a non-skid. A little while later, about a year later, I added C-deck to the entire boat, the bracket, the cooler deck, everywhere. It's a fantastic option to have. It makes the boat nice and silent, nice and quiet. I wanted to keep a lot of the original components like the leaning post. A lot of the features on the console stayed the same. So basically the leaning post was just a compartment. It didn't have the lift-up seat like the newer ones do. It had a compartment in the back with 2 sliding doors, which was just basically a catch-all. So Matt from BoatOutfitters.com and I designed what was the best fit for me, and basically based on what I like fishing for, I like reef fishing. So we designed 2 drawers, one that has 2 plain old tackle trays, and one that can hold gloves and knives and pliers and leaders and things like that. So basically what I have back there, I can have a whole fishing trip, and I've had a few already where I haven't even had to touch the tackle box.
Yeah, I know you're bottom fishing a lot, so if you're on the anchor standing back in the cockpit, you can just turn around and it's right there behind you, all your gear.
Absolutely. While we were designing that, we also designed a cooler slide, which is a product that they offer, and I also added the padded seat. So by designing the cooler slide, I could slide the cooler out and have the padded seat. I gained 2 more seats on the boat. We did the T-top with Bobby at Birds Eye Marine, and he did a special design for the T-top. He made it a little bit bigger. He asked me many questions on what I wanted. I wanted something very durable. Basically, based on that, you can see the pipe design is about 3.5 inch.
Yeah, it's rigid looking for sure.
Very rigid looking. He made the T-top bigger. He noticed the shade wasn't covering 100% of the backrest, so we made it bigger that way in length. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm completely in love with it.
Oh, it looks great, man. Man, you know what? I really like this upholstery. The stitch work on here is kind of cool. You don't see that diagonal kind of diamond looking pattern there. It looks really neat. Tell me a little bit about what's going on here.
I own a millwork shop, and I also have an upholstery department in-house. We used diamond stitching and we quilted the upholstery. In some areas only, I wanted to make it a little bit different, so we have this area here on the sides. I think it just looks cleaner.
Yeah, just a little accent work there. It's not the whole boat.
Not the whole boat, just some accent pieces.
It looks really cool. You know, it must be nice to be able to do it yourself every couple of years. Yeah. I wish I could do the same on my boats. Well, Christian, the boat looks great. I really like the kind of old school look combined with some of this new stuff here. It's really nice flavor. And, you know, I mean, I think you've really landed exactly where you wanted to be on this boat. I mean, by my estimation, from today fishing. I mean, is this boat going to be something you're going to keep for another 15 years?
Absolutely, absolutely. I will not get rid of this boat. This boat's going to be in my family forever, I hope.
Maybe someday when you're old, your son will take you fishing on it, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, man. Well, I sure appreciate you having me out here.
Oh, thank you, George.
It's a trip down memory lane.
Thank you, George. I had a great time.
Thanks so much for coming up.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
With an initial purchase price of $25,000, and after spending $60,000 in custom repairs and modifications, the cost of Christian's Dreamboat comes to a total of $85,000.